quick push-up routine that will increase your pushing power, body control and general functional performance, and it only takes 10 minutes. This one's quite unlike most circuits or programs you may have used before because it consists entirely of one move, the push-up. But to increase the challenge and to keep things interesting, we'll be varying the cadence, the angles and the types of contraction used. Most programs are entirely focused on fast repetitions using sub-maximal weights. You pump out a few reps and sets, then you head on to the next movement. You don't truly master any one of these movements. What happens when you need to be stronger? What happens when you need to exert strength for an extended period? And have you really mastered the movement if you can't also perform it slowly? This is what I mean when I say dynamic strength, the ability to be explosive when you need to be, but also to be slow and controlled, or to churn out lots of reps, to be able to adapt to the demands of any situation. The aim here therefore is to master the push-up by targeting every type of muscle fibre and every facet of strength in that range of motion. It goes like this. Overcoming isometric push-ups or floor hugs for 3 times 6 seconds. Explosive clapping push-ups to technical failure. One-handed push-ups to failure. Push-ups to failure. Quasi-isometric push-ups for 30 seconds. Typically you'll rest for 30 seconds between each set and repeat the circuit for a total of 3 to 5 rounds. The rest between rounds is also only 30 seconds. The short rest time ensures that you're going into each set already fatigued, which will force the body to switch its muscle fibre recruitment. In other words, because you've used all of the slow twitch fibre, your body has no choice but to recruit faster twitch muscle fibre, even for those slower movements. Try it and suffer. Alternatively, you can perform this push-up routine as a single drop set so that you move on to the next step immediately after finishing the last one. In this case, you should stop each exercise slightly before failure in order to ensure you are still able to perform. This method is less effective for building the complete push-up strength, but it will allow you to get a quick and intense workout that can also be tacked onto a full body routine or push day. So now we're going to break down each movement. As mentioned, the aim of the routine is to take a single movement and tackle it in every way. This is how that works. So the overcoming isometric movement is one that involves pushing or pulling against an immovable force. This is equivalent to trying to lift a barbell that's too heavy for you, meaning that you can exert maximum effort and maximum neural drive. In other words, the brain tries to recruit every last muscle fibre it can, which can improve the muscle fibre recruitment over time, and thus increase maximum strength. In other words, you can tap into more of the strength that's already there. This may also help you to access more explosive force in the next set, thanks to the post-activation principle. Normally, overcoming isometrics involve using some kind of external tool, but with this move, which I've kind of invented, we're going to use the floor to create a body weight overcoming isometric. To do this, you widen your arms so that they are too wide to push you up. Then you're going to try and push up nonetheless, straining against the ground and not going anywhere. It should look like you're trying to peck fly or to hug the floor, or as I prefer, to crush the earth. You're going to hold each one of these for 6 seconds with maximal effort, then release and rest for 10 seconds and then repeat. For the next part of this push-up routine, you'll be performing explosive push-ups, showboating and clapping optional. This is plyometric training, which again activates as many fast twitch muscle fibres as possible for a display of plyometric explosive strength. This will help you to improve your rate of force development, meaning that you can access more strength more quickly. Next, we're moving on to one-handed push-ups. This movement is unilateral, so it isolates a single pec, tricep and shoulder. This allows you to increase the load, such that you are now likely working with an equivalent of more weight. You're also going to be bracing your entire body more with your obliques to combat the rotational force. This means you're using slightly different intramuscular coordination. Following the clapping push-ups and the overcoming isometrics, you may already be facing some fatigue. Next, you're going to be doing regular push-ups. For many of us, it's relatively easy to perform huge numbers of push-ups normally, but this should now be harder following what has immediately preceded this move. This is why we're keeping those rest periods very short. You'll still likely be able to do a lot of push-ups though, and when you combine this with everything you've already done, this means you're now working your work capacity and your muscle endurance. You're using more slow twitch muscle fibre, which will help you to build more work capacity. It'll increase blood flow to the area, encouraging hypertrophy too. Finally, you're going to end this push-up routine by performing a quasi-isometric push-up. This means you'll be slowing the movement all the way down, taking 15 seconds on the way down and 15 seconds on the way back up. If you're confident, you can increase this to 30 seconds each way. The quasi-isometric push-up of course requires a great amount of slow twitch muscle fibre, as well as a huge amount of muscle control. Because there's no acceleration, you won't be able to rely on momentum to jump past sticking points in the movement. What's more is that you'll build great proprioception and body awareness as you consciously move through each point. Make sure you're using perfect technique so your back is in that hollow body position and you're coming all the way down to the ground. This will make the movement much more efficient in future. And this is especially true if you use a passive isometric on the way down. That means you're using only the necessary muscle to go through the movement and not contracting anything excessive or extra on top of that. Now the best part is that when you start round 2 in 30 seconds, the fact that your slow twitch muscle fibre has been exhausted means that you'll be forced to rely on a greater proportion of fast twitch muscle fibre, emulating a heavier weight. So many training routines focus on hitting the same muscle groups with slightly different exercises. Here the exercise is largely the same, but what varies is the speed and the intent that you train it with. You'll find that even though you're exhausted from maxing out your regular push-ups, you're still capable of performing slow quasi-isometric reps. Why? Because these use the muscles and the nervous system in entirely different ways. And when you can perform normally, explosively, unilaterally, and with extreme control and precision, you'll be able to say that you have mastered that movement. And it makes for one hell of a workout that creates a lot of pump and that should trigger hypertrophy no matter what kind of training you respond best to. And this carries over into many other aspects of your performance, so enjoy. Oh, and the same approach used in this push-up routine can also be used with many different exercises. For example, I'm currently using it to master the pseudo-planche push-up. So hope you found this video useful and interesting, guys. Let me know in the comments if you gave it a try and what you thought, and leave a like if you did find it useful. You can check out my ebook and training program Super Functional Training in the link down below, or just subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.